Good morning, everyone. Today I've got projects. Started the day out, I think it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. I don't even know what time it is. But I started by putting green beans in some of the tanks, well, most of the tanks really. And once they start chowing down, I'll show you guys that later. They just kind of went in. So things like goldfish and stuff, obviously, are already hunting them, and you know, they'll work on them all day, which is kind of fun and gets them that roughage. Whenever I'm talking about roughage, usually it's vegetables and things like that I'm actually talking about. So yeah, you can see all the goldfish going nuts for it. I bet you turtles probably set in on it by now. Yeah, turtles they're moving in. You know, they know. Starting to take some bites. They're like, hey, what's this? Yeah, he's like, oh, it's edible. Oh, I should take it. It's mine. So yeah, he knows what's up. He knows, like, hey, I could eat this. Let me run off with it. And then now the rest of them are starting to do the same, like, oh, I got mine. I'm out. This guy is like, oh, me too. So kind of funny to watch, you know, stuff realize, like, oh man, yeah, I remember these. I should eat this. Takes longer, you know, like this pleco right here. He knows that's food. He doesn't know we should eat it yet. Like this, for all I know, maybe from the breeder and stuff like that, maybe it's never eaten a green bean before, so it doesn't know how to eat that yet. So sometimes with stuff that's new to me, they got to figure it out. But let me shut this fan down. This fan's making noise. People keep asking for updates on the turtles, the turtle eggs specifically. Well, the update is still waiting for them. Man, I almost broke that. The update is still waiting. That's what they do. They sit there and kind of do their thing. So, you know, we'll let them kind of keep doing that. And when they hatch, you guys will be the first to know. But for right now, we just wait. So, all right, I've got to get work done, and I've got projects, so I'm going to bring you along for the ride on the project, I think. So I wanted to chime in on the goldfish. I'm going to get to it today, but I want to show you aftermath, so to speak. So first I want to focus on the fish. I think the fish are doing really well. There's a little bit of fraying like on the actual fin there, but it's healing up. That's the important part, is it looks way better than it was, and all the fish are active and blah, 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 right? Well, the aftermath is this. I've got plants, and if you look over here, the valve's struggling, and you can see it's having problems. You can see some of this crinum's having some problems. You see some dead leaves there, and that's the salt. And so I put in, you know, just enough salt to help fix the fish, but not completely kill the plants, but the plants are struggling. And now, so today, you know, I don't know when you're watching this, but today is Thursday, and I got back on a Monday, so I think it's been 11 days. So, yeah, I noticed them being bad on a Monday. This Monday would have been 1 week, add 4 more days. Yeah, it's basically 11 days, 10 or 11 days. I think the stress is gone. I think they're doing a lot better. The water's colder, that type of thing. So I think today might be the day to start doing the water changes and getting things back on track. That might include pulling out these crinums and putting them somewhere else. And I might build a spray bar and do all these things. So, you know, we'll see what I can get done today. I want to do other projects though, but I know if I don't get on this, I for sure at least got to change water. Because I've got some poop building up I don't like either. Right here you can see, you know, there's green poop, stuff like that. Because normally I do a water change every single week without missing it, that type of thing. And here we're not quite getting that. And the water level is a little low from evaporative cooling. And I feel like I need to do some maintenance on them. So maybe that's what I do today. Instead of pushing forward in another thing, I make sure what I've got going is going okay. And yeah, so back to work. Well, you can see that the goldfish water change has taken my time, or at least precedence. I'm live streaming it just on Facebook, so if you guys join Facebook, you're able to see that. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I want to get this flow is too much, so I want to do a spray bar or something like that. Haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do quite yet. Part of me wants to make a whole video on how you DIY your own spray bar. The other half of me wants to see if I can just make the one that comes with it work. The problem is the way the angle it comes in. And I've got to run to the hardware store anyway. I want to get some caps, and I want to cap it off so I can raise up the water level in this tank and delete the sump. So I already cut out a piece of plumbing already right here. Took this piece out. This was the return, and so that cleans up the inside the tank a little bit. And now I just got to play around with it some more and hopefully, make it look better than it did. So back to work for me. So I was getting a net so I could scoop something out of the bottom of the goldfish tank that I dropped. I saw they finally released much more babies. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 super small babies. And then over here, you've got this female. Oh, there's a horrible glare. I scared him off over here. But you can see this one is struggling. Like there's not a billion fry, but she's gonna release them like today or tomorrow. You can see that one there is holding. So, it worked out well. I made the slight change, and that was the auto feeder seems to have tweaked this system just enough to get the desired result I wanted. So I'm gonna put in like a cube of Cyclops in here, let them chow down since they're new babies, and get back to working on the goldfish tank. I ended up just modifying the spray bar I had. I still want to cap off the sump and stuff like that, and if I get super duper ambitious, which I don't know if that's today's project, I want to try and make this change water automatically, which means I would probably tap it over here, like put in a bulkhead, comes out the side, and then have water come either through this window that, yeah, I know it's weird, it's a window inside my building, and then down over here where I'm going to make a sump for this rack anyway, and boom, then we can pump it somewhere. That'd be pretty cool. I still have to get water over there. That's a feat in itself also. So that's where I'm at so far. People seem to be digging the live stream on Facebook. There's no sound or anything. I'm just actually letting them watch the goldfish, but the new camera picks them up really well, because before they'd be a little bit blurry, but they're much better on the live stream with it being 60 frames per second. So yeah, back to work for me. Well, now I need to make a custom top, and I need to apologize to Jamie. She's been waiting since I think June or something like that, and if you're watching this in the future, from when I make this video, realize that right now it's November, and so I do apologize. I did say I'll try to do it. She's got a rimless tank with no top that she can't get a top for, and she didn't think she could do it, so I was like, she's a good customer, I like her, so I was like, I'll do it, but I don't know when I can do it, and I did not think it would take, 6 months, essentially, so I'm forcing myself to get this project done today, and so we're going to do it out of the, the Sunlight twin wall stuff. I'm going to cut it up, and I've got to do some mods, and, I've got to put a hinge in and stuff like that, so that I haven't necessarily done before, but I'm pretty sure I can get it done, but that's what I'm going to work on right now. And then I can get into, I've got the table saw out. I want to play with this here, which is some Matala Mat. I want to try cutting it with the table saw. And I've got some ideas for maybe either Betta dividers or maybe some background stuff like that. So that's what I want to play with, but I'm going to force myself to get this done first, so that way I can, give it to the customer. And I literally at this point I'm just going to give it to her, because I've taken so long that, for all I know, she's gotten another top or something like that. But I want to make good on my word and get this actually made. So that's what I'm doing. So here's what I've got mocked up for the Bettas. One of my theories or tests. Not tests, I haven't tested it yet, but one of the mock-ups, I guess. So using acrylic or PVC, I think, to create some dividers, and splitting the 10-gallon into thirds. Now, if I was to put 3 Bettas in here, I think that'd be a great home for them. I think they'd be easy to catch, and it would be, positioned this way so that there'd be, kind of Betta 1, Betta 2, Betta 3. These are scraps I picked up from Tap Plastic, so I think I paid $3, $4, something for all the acrylic here. And it's not perfect, and I haven't even cut it down. I could cut it down some, as well. But these I picked up, a long time ago, and they're made to hold dividers, and so it's a possibility. I mean, obviously I would do black, but I just picked up scraps to do a mock-up and see, is this what I like? I'd put gravel in, and I would probably plant them and things like that. I wonder, these are pretty in there. They're not bad. I might fit another one up here. I'm trying to see what visually looks okay, stuff like that. So, and with this system, what I'm thinking is, if I had this set up and they're black dividers, stuff like that, I'd still have to run like an air stone in each one or something like that. And I don't want to, so let me cover some more bases here. The reason why I'm not going to silicone these in is because I want this to auto water change and stuff like that. So what that means is I'm going to put a bulkhead in one of the three, and water can be shared between the three bettas. And let's say water comes in on this side very slowly once a day, and then it drains out on that side. It will move enough water to keep them all healthy. If I silicone all these in, water would come in here, and it would have to come out as well. So then I'm drilling 3 bulkheads and 3 water coming in, and then still 3 something to aerate or something like that. I want a little bit of flow in there. So my other options, so a lot of people I've seen, use stuff like this foam from Swiss Tropicals, make a matin filter, and I can do that as well, But what I'm thinking is, this is not quite as stiff as I want it to be. I'm wondering if I can make it out of this right here. So I'm thinking about cutting a piece and seeing what I can do. And the goal might be make this into a filter and divider in the same thing. So yeah, it's going to be a little thicker here. But if it does double duty, that might make some sense. So I'm going to cut a piece up and we'll see how it goes. So I'm thinking this might actually work pretty good. Like that, it's in there. I can move it a bit, but it's in there. And I think it fits pretty darn well. Like, who knew? Table saw works. And so now, I was thinking possibly, if I was to drill a hole or something down the center of this thing and get a little a pipe with airline, I could pump water. So I could have it go water into here, that type of thing. And worst case scenario, air stone in each compartment, something like that. But I feel like they wouldn't see too much to the other side. That's good. Man, I am just covered in this stuff. Like, I am literally just covered from using the table saw there. But I think this could work. Obviously I didn't measure out proportions this time, but I feel like it's pretty stout. It's much more stout than the sponge. And so I've got lots of that sponge, but so if we take a comparable piece here, let me get this out of here. So I drop it on the floor. But a comparable piece of the Swiss Tropicals matin filter, you can see here how it just a little bit of pressure wants to bow, and I can push on this and it's not bowing. It's not wood, but at the same time it's just much more stiff. Now it's not as fine either, which I'm hoping is a perk. But the problem is, well, not a problem, but they come in some different porosities and stuff. Both do in different colors. I think this is the color I like, and I think I might just straight up like this more than the finer sponge. And it seems crazy, but koi people love it because it doesn't pick up a lot of debris. And I'm kind of on the same train. Like, if I was to put, on this rack, if we go, let me grab one of these. Let me grab one. So if we go to the rack that we're building / gonna be doing real soon here, and go all the way over here. And you gotta imagine there's a bulkhead in the back of this thing, and water can go out. I'm thinking I could just put this right in here and snug it up to the back just like that, and boom, no fish could ever go out the bulkhead. That would be super awesome. And then two, if I was to give it a little bit of room, it would turn into like a matin filter essentially. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming by any means that like, oh God, he's invented something mind-blowing. I'm just doing exactly what has been done for years now, but I think this might work better. And I can only know. The problem is, when you do something like this, I will know a year, 18 months, 2 years from now, is that amazing or is that strictly worse? I do like that it holds itself up, and what I hope it doesn't do is I don't want it to hold debris. In the past, let's say this tank was set up and it's got rocks and plants and whatever. If I did a water change on it for some reason, all the gunk that's above that water line just falls straight back into the water and clouds the water, makes it look terrible. So I'm hoping that with more holes in there, let me see if I can get the camera in here. With more holes in there, it won't pick up as much debris. I don't want it to pick up debris. I want, in a perfect world, it pulls water, kicks it back out to the main tank here, and I can gravel vac that out. That's the way I want it to work. I basically want this to be biological and to never, ever, ever, ever need servicing because it's a real pain to service. That being said, also, I want it to be pretty snug because when I ran the sponge filter, swisstropical matin filter before, I'd have fish get back here. But I'm thinking I could just have a slight little corner, little tiny cutout, and boom, I've got something to work with. So that's what I'm playing with. I do need to run to the hardware store. It's starting to get dark out, but I want to pick up some parts, some PVC, that type of thing. It's just, I don't know if I want to get caught in traffic, so maybe I don't do that today. I'm trying to think what else. I could show you green bean again going on. Green beans being destroyed by every snail. And over here, who else is, Taiwanesian rabbit snails, turns out they like green beans. I know the African cichlids polish theirs off. I don't know where else. I mean, I put one in here, maybe they ate it already, I don't know. But yeah, I'm having a good old time in the fish room. Let me tell you guys. Ooh, and I want to show you guys, I did put bettas in all the tanks. So like there's a betta right here, chilling with these platies. And, so a lot of the tanks got them. And so I figured I could space these out. I'm thinking about selling these guys off, putting them on the website, and just shipping them out. This proven pair of Apisto Orange Flash. But, haven't made any official decisions or anything like that yet. I think that's all I'm doing today. I mean, I'm going to do a little bit more work. I don't know if I'm going to film anymore. Ooh, look at these snails down here. I should probably grab all those snails and feed them to the turtles or something like that, because you can see the super red bristlenose trying to get a piece of that action, but not a lot of room left for them. Got green beans in here. Claros really aren't going after it, but I do want to get these Claros set up with something better. I almost put them, there's another Betta living with these guys. I almost put them in that tank where we put all the other plecos. Here's another Betta living in this little planted jungle here. But, I don't know if I want to dedicate a 100-gallon. That's the thing, is I think what I'm going to do, so truth be told, I might be redoing this entire fish room, which you guys kind of been hearing about that. So why I'm testing those 10 gallons on their end, I'm thinking I could tear down this wall right here, not like the actual wall, but the tank, so 8 tanks. And every 20 inches, I would get a 10-gallon tank, and because they're a little bit shorter, I can go 3 tall and not have to get on a ladder. So I'm thinking if I was to come and build a wooden rack, and we started it right here-ish, I would probably hit 20 inches here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish times 3 rows, so that'd be 21 tanks, and then if I was to divide them into thirds, that is 63 bettas that would all have ample space on one wall. So right now, yeah, I've got 8 tanks, and some things are happening. I've got, well, let's go through it, you know. So in my opinion, even though there's a Betta in here, loving life in this 20 with some Julie Coreys, I'm wasting this aquarium because I don't know what to do with it. Like, what do I could do this, I could do that, so I end up doing nothing. Down here, too small. I mean, yeah, I've made bristlenose and stuff out of there, yes, but really, it's too small to be doing what I want to do. Down here, yes, the bristlenose, the dwarf claros need to move out. It could do the guppies, I get that. I could probably still do these guppies in a 10-gallon also. This tank, clearly these guys have overpopulated and I have not moved them to a 40 breeder like I need to, but it did do its job. I'll concede that was useful. This tank is doing nothing. I've never done anything with it. I tried to breed some apistos, it grows some plants, that's all it does. It does make great looking needle-leaf java fern. I mean, don't get me wrong, ridiculously good looking, no algae, perfect tank, a little bit of duckweed. But another one not being utilized. This tank down here, it's just holding fish that no one wants. No one really wants these dwarf platies. I'm not even that interested in breeding them. There's no plants there anymore, it needs to go. Down here, yeah, I've got some Amica splendens sitting down there, but that's it. Not thrilled about that tank, so another wasted tank. Up here, you know, I'm just not putting in the effort to really spawn these cribs like I should. I think I'm just going to sell them off on the website, go, who wants a proven pair? Maybe I'll send the kid with it, raised up in here. And, you know, so underutilized. So this wall, really, what have I accomplished in a year? I mean, we've been here a little bit longer than a year, but I basically made 3 tanks. So this one I would say successful, this one successful, and this one successful. Other than that, so 3 out of 8, that's a very poor utilization. Now, if I put 63 Bettas there, I feel like that's pretty good compared to what I'm doing right now. You know, that's when I start looking at some of the other tanks, you know, and maybe this is a series, like evaluate how much tanks do I actually need. This tank is doing what I wanted to do. It's a colony of Cypachromis. We've got babies raising up. We have other babies raising up. I'm really enjoying that because I enjoy that. So this 40 breeder, I would say, has done its job. You know, if we go over here, yeah, I've got some Cracodon lateralis. I could do that in a 10, whatever. I've got Betta simplex that I'm really not putting in that much effort. Could be a 10. This tank right here could definitely be a 10. We've got basically some Bettas and there's Libear. Tank with a goldfish and a Betta, underutilized. Goldfish and a Betta, underutilized. Nothing. I've got shrimp, Betta, and assassin snails, and a super red bristlenose. Underutilized. Down here, Betta and some mollies and some coreys. Underutilized. Nothing but plants. Underutilized. And half of it, to be fair, is I don't know what I'm doing. Like, half the time I'm like, I'm going to breed fish. The other half the time is like, no, I'm going to ship fish. The other half the time is like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to tear it down and rebuild it. You know, but then we get over here, and I do feel like some of these tanks are useful. This tank, can't really evaluate it, but until like a week ago, I don't know that a fish has ever been in here yet besides these guys. This tank, yeah, generated a little bit of money / bred a little bit of fish. You know, I'd say that tank was okay. This tank, Heterandra formosa, I could take it or leave it. Like, it could have been a 10 just as easy for sure. This tank, I would say I did use. You know, we've raised up a couple of batches of fry, stuff like that. This tank has just been holding some mollies, waste of time. This tank did produce a batch of apistos, that was good, I enjoyed it. This tank also did nothing really. This tank down here tried to spawn apistos, never did anything for me, but I don't fault that because the fish kind of failed, not me failing to utilize it. Ooh, look over here, if I don't get close, you can see like the dovi and fire mouse out looking for food. 75-gallon tank. Is it being utilized? I don't know. That would be hard for me to say. I did add that crinum, by the way, when I took it out of the goldfish tank. Yeah, there's some Africans, that type of thing. Got goldfish in here. In my opinion, very underutilized. Lots of neons. This tank makes sense. It quarantines for the store, it does well.
breeding trout goodeids. I enjoy this tank. I would say it's doing its job. Over here we've got the snails, and I bred a lot of shrimp and guppies in here, so I would say this tank did well for me for quite a while. And you know, I've planted it, so I'm getting it going again, so I'd say it's useful to me. The panda guppy tank kind of always been useful, making shrimp and pandas for me. And then I turn this corner again, we've got this tank. Yeah, I would say this one's been utilized. Same with this one has been utilized. That one's been utilized. This one, I don't know if I've utilized it super much yet, but I will. I like these, you know, I like these mollies. 100-gallon tank, utilized? I would say definitely not utilized. Turtles? Yeah, highly utilized. We bred them. You know, it's a great setup for them. I can live with that. These tanks, I wouldn't say utilized yet. I mean, they're starting to do their thing, but I would not say utilized. Like we've got that tank doing nothing, this tank doing nothing, that tank was a disaster, not my fault. That tank just holding some angels. So you can kind of see where, what do I want to do here? Do I want to breed? I think I want to breed and I want to sell fish. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I want to sell fish or if I just want to provide you guys with fish, which are two very different things. Like wanting to sell fish, I'm doing it for monetary gains. And if I'm doing it for the money, I do not want to ship fish. But I do legitimately want to provide you guys with fish you can't get. That I'm sympathetic to, of like, man, I can't imagine what it's like. You can't just go buy one of those? Like, oh, it's not even that rare of a fish. Like, dang it. So I'm sympathetic to that when I talk to you guys all the time through email, through Facebook, through comments, like, oh, I can't get this. And I'm like, man, I could provide that. I could send them that. I could get employees. We could do that. And so that's my motivation, is I do want to do some of that. So anyway, I think I'm wrapping this thing up because I've got stuff I got to do, and ranting about tanks, stuff like that, who knows. I actually want to drop some plans, make some more concrete plans, and this is why I build my fish rooms, so they can change, because I feel like had I built this, even 3 tall, all that kind of stuff, to breed fish, I'd be going, man, nope. Like right now, I'm convinced I need 10-gallon tanks divided into thirds for bettas. A year from today, maybe that's the worst decision I ever made, but I won't know until I get there. That's the problem. And I've built quite a few things. You can see over there, housing a lot of bettas. We've got the things over here housing bettas. I haven't found the system I like yet. And for me, in fish keeping, if I don't like the way something's going, I really don't like it. I tend to neglect it, / don't want to do it anymore. So like if I was forced to use any of the current betta systems I'm using right now, I probably would stop selling bettas. That being said, I love to design new systems and play with it, so I'm going to focus on that. And I do think, you know, if we go full circle all the way back, I think that 10-gallon divided into thirds with that mat may be the trick. So, oh man, I got lots of stuff to do. Look at this right here. I still got to plant this, but this is a whole thing of bucephalandra, you know. And then I've got tons of Anubia stana petite in here, and then also down in here, lots more Anubia stana petite. I just gotta get some time. I need time. But I really wanted, I had the saw out and I had to make that for that woman, and so I wanted to, I can't talk. I was so excited / don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, so for instance, I get so behind on my projects. Like this Matala Mat landed before I went to Chicago. So I've had the idea for a few weeks at this point, mulling it over in the brain, going, how do I make that better? And so now, I finally get it on the saw, cut it, going, yes, it does what I want to do. Because half the time, you cut it and you go, oh no, it's too floppy, it's not going to work. And then you go, all that brain thinking I did for the past 2 weeks, useless. Now, when you confirm something like this, you're going, wow, yeah, that's pretty in there. Like, I could keep, aggressive fish from getting through that. I mean, it takes some pounding to get it to move. And even then, like, I don't know what fish is going to be able to do that. I mean, even then, the fish isn't making it over. So I think this is a working system. We'll see. That's all I can do. And so I'm wrapping it up. We're done. Taco Unioning. We're done. We're off the clock. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully this wasn't too ranty and you saw a lot of fish and things and brain thinkings. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, and taco on.